Let's come back to local stories. A woman from Watford says an itch saved her life after it alerted her to a cancerous lump in her breast that she didn't know was there. Minnal is taking part in the Race for Life event tomorrow. Minnal, very good afternoon to you.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well, Minnal. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
So tell us your story. How did you discover this cancerous lump?
Exactly that, an itch. I just had a light scratch and felt a lump. I was convinced it was what they call a SIBA cyst, and it was during the long Christmas bank holiday, so I had to wait for the doctors to open, and then discovered that I had grade 3 breast cancer.
What's happened since? I mean, how quickly have you been dealt with?
Literally, amazingly. So I was diagnosed on the 7th of February 2022, and I had a full mastectomy and immediate, what they call a DEP reconstruction, on the 30th of March, so within 7 weeks. Diagnosis, surgery, and then I began chemotherapy in June last year.
Do you mind me asking how you're getting on?
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I am back to normal. I've had great care through St Albans Hospital and through Mount Vernon Hospital, where I was treated. I'm ready to do Race for Life tomorrow.
I'll ask you about that in a moment. People's stories, real life stories about things like this, I think that they're powerful stories, Minnal, but actually they help many other people just to sit up and pay attention to things we might not otherwise be aware of. Because you had an itch, but otherwise you would not have noticed this lump.
No, and I think that's where it's so important for everyone to be checking, not just women but men too. I think we are all. We get complacent when it comes to our health. We just carry on, if we have a headache or we've got a pain, but we need to know what the norm is for our body, and that's what we're not doing, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to raise awareness for. People need to take notice of different things happening in our body. Hormonal changes doesn't just necessarily mean that you look different. Touch, feel, what are you? I make light of it with my friends and things that, yes, it was just an itch that saved my life, but I don't check. I'm young. I don't qualify to have mammograms. So, it's urging the younger generation to be vigilant, to be checking regularly once a month. There are great websites, there are great Instagram pages to follow that show you how to check, that show you what procedures to be doing, how in depth you should be checking.
But without that check, you would not have known, and it would have been detected, I think, a bit later on, by which stage it could have been much more difficult. That's the key thing here.
100%. I think we need to be more. People need to realise that we need to check on a monthly basis. On the first of every month, just diarise it, check your breasts, check your armpits. There's 1 in 2 people get cancer, 1 in 7 get breast cancer. I think, those statistics speak for themselves, that we need to be a lot more vigilant with regards to our health.
Let me talk to you about Race for Life. You're taking part in it tomorrow. What does it mean to you?
Everything. Without Race for Life, without the research that is funded through Race for Life, I wouldn't have been given the drugs through my chemotherapy. I wouldn't have been able to have some of the treatments that I have had. I potentially wouldn't have been able to have the surgery that I had. I can't urge people to sign up enough. I mean, it is life-changing, the research that Cancer Race for Life, the money that we get through them.
I think you ran the event last year with your family. It must have been really emotional when you crossed the finish line.
Yeah, it was very emotional. I was 7 weeks post-surgery, and I walked. My surgeons wouldn't allow me to run, but we ran 14 of us through my whole family. It was very emotional because I think you're surrounded by people who have gone through cancer, not necessarily breast cancer, and you see how it affects everyone, how it affects from younger children. You read the back of everyone's T-shirts. They're running for their nan or their granddad or their mum or their brother or their sister. And you realise and you start to accept that cancer doesn't discriminate.
No, it doesn't. But actually, it's not just the person suffering with cancer. The whole family is drawn into the disease. It takes us all along this horrible journey with it. That's the thing.
It affects your whole surrounding family, and it leaves lasting impressions as well. It's very difficult to come out of a cancer diagnosis and just carry on with life.
Really enjoyed speaking to you, Minnal. I'm so pleased you found it early, and well, not early, but you found it, and clearly it was such a swift response. Only yesterday, we were talking to the oncologists suggesting that cancer care in the UK is falling behind, and there are people waiting sometimes way too long for their treatment. But in your case, you were dealt with very, very quickly in Hertfordshire.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I have to emphasise the point that was all through NHS as well. It wasn't a private treatment; it was all through the wonderful NHS. And I know that sometimes the NHS gets a bad reputation for people waiting for operations. I can say I was a lucky one. Yeah.
Great story. I'm glad you come out the other side. Listen, good luck in the race tomorrow. Good luck to you and your family.
Thank you.
I hope it goes well. I hope you raise loads of money. Thank you, Minnal.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Minnal Ladder from Watford, who is running in Race for Life tomorrow. Her story. Well, you heard her story. She had an itch, and it was that itch that alerted her to a cancerous lump in her breast, which she didn't know was there. Her treatment with the NHS in Hertfordshire was rapid. I mean, literally really quick, treated, dealt with, surgery to put everything right again. But she had a really lucky escape, because otherwise it would have been a very different story. These people we hear from are just amazing stories. The honours list.